You're looking for a guide to install SteamOS on your PC? You're in the right place. This guide will cover USB creation, installation, and basic setup. It's comprehensive, which means it's long, but my motto is do it properly and you only have to do it once. I recommend to watch the whole video for the most information, but when a step is optional or only applies to certain people, a banner will appear at the bottom of the screen to tell you. I want to be real with you before we start. I think Bazzite is the better choice for almost everyone. It does everything that SteamOS does, has better compatibility, and is much more elegant if you want to dual boot with Windows. It will even do the controller-based couch gaming thing exactly the same as SteamOS. It's going to hurt my YouTube retention statistics if you click off the video now, but I value honesty above everything else. I have a free Bazzite tutorial on the channel if you want to check that out instead. But if you still want SteamOS, stay with me. Step 0. What is SteamOS and who is it for? SteamOS is Valve's own operating system based on Linux, the one that Steam Deck runs and uses. It boots straight into that big screen Steam interface, it's built for a controller, and it turns a PC into something that behaves a bit more like a console than a computer. That's the appeal. You turn it on, you're in your library, and you can just play your games. It's perfect for a living room PC, but it's not for everyone. SteamOS may not be good for you if you have an Nvidia or ARC graphics card. At the time of recording, SteamOS only supports AMD Radeon graphics cards. Valve are definitely working on this, so check the pinned comment to see when Nvidia and ARC support is live. You may not like SteamOS if you want to play many of the popular kernel-level anti-cheat based games, such as Call of Duty and Battlefield. These simply do not work on Linux at the time of recording. There's a link in the description to a website called Are We Anti-Cheat Yet? That will tell you if the game will work with Linux, including SteamOS. SteamOS might not be good for you if you want to dual boot with Windows on the same SSD, because it simply doesn't work that way at the time of recording. But I will show you how to dual boot if you're willing to use two different SSDs for those that want to try it out. Though I do warn you, it is really annoying to do it this way. If you want to have both Windows and SteamOS on the same PC on different drives, but your intention is to use that Windows drive to play those kernel level anti-cheat games and then use SteamOS for everything else, it's possible, but it's really fiddly and I really would not recommend it. Bazzite is much better at doing this if that's your intention. I'll show you how to do it, but I don't recommend it. However, SteamOS might be really good for you. If you don't play those anti-cheat games and you want a streamlined experience, then fantastic. It's going to fully work with a controller without having to use a keyboard and mouse once it's set up, just like a console. If you want a lean and bloat-free operating system, many Linux distributions are just that, and that includes SteamOS. You'll also have the benefit of a large corporation like Valve being behind the development of the operating system means that longevity is more assured than if you used a community-based distribution. We should note that at the time of recording, SteamOS is technically in beta, which means it's not a full release yet. Step 1 is making the USB. You're going to need a PC with an AMD graphics card to use SteamOS. Today I'm using this beautiful system from PC36 featuring a Radeon 9070 XT graphics card. When Nvidia and Intel ARC support is live, like I said, I'm going to update that pinned comment to tell you. You will also need a USB stick 8GB or larger, and all data on this USB stick is going to be wiped in the process. If you want to dual boot with Windows and SteamOS together on your PC, you're going to have two separate SSDs to make it work. Let's flash the USB. First, plug the USB in. We will now need a flashing app to create the USB. Go to rufus.ie, scroll down and download the latest version with the P on the end. Next, find the SteamOS download page. At the time of recording, it's in this support FAQ page, which is a little bit awkward. I imagine over time they're going to give SteamOS its own dedicated landing page. Download the ISO by following the link on that page or use the direct link in the video description. In your Downloads folder, open Rufus. Allow it to check for updates, then in the top bar, ensure that the correct USB stick is selected. Go over to this button and click Select. Choose the SteamOS download that you got earlier. Everything else should fill in automatically. You can go down and start the USB flash process. If you get asked about DBX Secure Boot files, you can choose the option to allow it. It's irrelevant anyway because SteamOS doesn't support Secure Boot. Once the process is complete, you can shut down the PC. Flashing the USB can take anywhere between 5 and 25 minutes. Step 2 is to prep the PC. This is the one section I really want you to slow down for and pay attention. If you plan to completely wipe your SSD and only have SteamOS installed, you can go ahead to the timecode shown on screen. If you plan to have SteamOS on one SSD and Windows on a separate SSD, then listen carefully. With the PC off, physically remove the SSD that has Windows installed on it. That ensures that you just cannot wipe your Windows drive by mistake. We're going to put it back in later after we've finished. An alternative method would be to disable this storage drive from within your motherboard BIOS, but I find physically removing it is the foolproof solution. Whether you needed that optional step or not, you need to get into your motherboard BIOS. The simplest way to do it is to start with the PC off, then turn it on while repeatedly hitting the dedicated BIOS key until you see the BIOS screen. On most computers, this key is delete or F2. Some laptops or other devices may be different, so you'll need to look up the BIOS key for those devices. Don't forget that on some laptops you may need to also press or hold the FN key whilst pressing the dedicated key, because that's how those keyboards work sometimes. You can get into the BIOS via Windows using the method in the pinned comment if you can't find your BIOS key. Once in the BIOS, you will normally have to enter the advanced mode to get to the right settings. This is an Asus motherboard BIOS, but yours may look a little bit different. You want to head over to the boot section. Here we need to ensure that CSM is disabled. Sometimes they call this legacy boot. Then we need to find Secure Boot. If you don't see it, it may be under the Security tab rather than the Boot tab. But once you've found it, you're going to need to disable it because SteamOS doesn't really work natively with Secure Boot. But before doing this, please heed this warning. If you are going to have Windows installed on a second SSD and you use BitLocker device encryption, please ensure you have access to your BitLocker recovery key because changing Secure Boot settings might otherwise lock you out of your files on Windows. To disable Secure Boot, on some motherboards there is an option to simply set it to disabled. On this Asus board I have to choose Other OS and then Custom, which will do the same thing as disabling it. Finally, in the boot order list, move the installation USB to the top with partition 1, then save changes in the BIOS and exit. Step 3. Installing SteamOS. Once you've saved and exited the BIOS, you should boot right onto the USB stick. Some gobbledygook will appear on screen and eventually you'll get to a desktop that looks like this. There are options in the top left. Choose Wipe Device and install SteamOS. It will give you a prompt to accept with a warning, read it, and then when ready, hit Install. It will do its thing over around 5 to 10 minutes and then prompt you to reboot. So do that and you will then load into SteamOS on the next restart. You'll be prompted to use either a controller or mouse and keyboard to click the arrow at the bottom of the screen. I suggest when first setting up SteamOS to use a mouse and keyboard. It will be way faster and save you a lot of headache. Once you're all set up, you can go back to total controller use later on. It will ask you to choose your time zone and region and connect to the internet for updates. Then you'll get to the Steam sign-in screen. I use the QR code to sign in via the mobile app, but if you prefer, you can just type in your username and password. You'll log into a Steam Big Picture mode, and that means you're basically installed, but there's still some setup to do to get this right. We'll set up SteamOS first, and then those people who have chosen to dual boot with Windows by having that on a separate SSD, I haven't forgotten you. I'm going to show you how to tidy that up at the end of the video. But first, let's set up SteamOS. Here's where SteamOS gets more useful than people expect. Your Steam library is already there, but don't get tempted to game just yet. Let's set things up properly, otherwise you'll be playing at the wrong resolution and refresh rate. Go to the Steam menu, then Settings. Here you can set things up as you like, but I'm going to show you the key steps. Go to Display, uncheck the slider for automatically set resolution, then you'll get this menu appear so that you can select the proper resolution and refresh rate for your monitor. HDR is often enabled by default, so it's up to you if you want it on or not. I'm turning it off just because it plays nicer with the capture card I'm using to teach you today. The power menu will let you choose when the computer goes to sleep. There's a bunch of other settings. I'm going to leave you to explore those rather than waste your time here. Now, if you wanted to, you could now just load up some games and get gaming. It's pretty plug and play at this point. But hang on, what if all my games aren't on Steam? How about Epic and GOG? How do I get those games? Don't worry, I've got you covered here. So to make this easier, we're going to come out of the Steam Big Picture mode for a second, go to the Steam menu, power, then switch to desktop, and you'll see you're now in a familiar desktop environment. Next, we need to open Discover. That is the App Store. If you can't find it in the toolbar along the bottom, you can use it via the Start menu and just search for it there. Within the Discover App Store, you need to search for and install Heroic Launcher. It's a launcher that links into your Epic and GOG accounts. Open up Heroic once it's installed, go into the settings and turn on the option to automatically add games to Steam. This is the bit that's going to make it seamless. Then you want to log into your Epic and GOG accounts. You can download your games here and they'll pop into Steam automatically when they're done. Sometimes you'll have to restart Steam for the Heroic games to actually appear in the list the first time, but after that they'll always be there. One extra trick that I've tested that is worth doing is to add Heroic Launcher itself to Steam as a non-Steam game. That means that you can open the Heroic Launcher from the controller-friendly interface in future without having to go back to the desktop every time. And from there, you can even install your Epic and GOG games without touching a keyboard, like I said. It keeps the whole thing very smooth. You can also do this for EA and other launchers using a tool called Lutris, but I'm going to leave that for now. It's going to bloat the guide and make it too long. The only thing to note is that Heroic links into your Epic and GOG accounts, but it won't let you buy games through it most of the time. Instead, I'd advise you to install Firefox using the icon in the taskbar, or sometimes SteamOS will prompt you to install Chrome if you prefer that. Then you can browse the web when needed and access those games marketplaces to make purchases. Or of course, you could do all of that on your phone. It's up to you. Once it's paid for into your account, then Heroic is going to be able to access those marketplaces and the games that you've purchased. You can swap back into the gaming mode using the button in the top left of the desktop. It's a good time now to reboot the PC, so head to the Steam menu by clicking it or using the guide button on your controller, then go down to Power, then Restart. You now have SteamOS set up and ready to go. Now for the honest bit, should you actually use SteamOS? So it's installed, it works, and it's genuinely lovely for the things it's designed for. It's the closest to a console you can make a PC into, and it's designed straight from Valve, built around the Steam Deck experience. But I said I'd be honest with you, and I always am. So here it is. For a lot of people, pretty much all of you actually, Bazzite is the better pick. You can choose to have it in the same console-like Steam Deck setup, but it's more flexible. It will let you keep secure boot on, and it will happily dual boot with Windows on the same drive as well. And the other thing is, if you're somebody that wants to play around with Linux for most of your games, but want to play those kernel level anti-cheat type games on Windows, Bazzite is going to be a lot better because it's much more straightforward to get the secure boot set up. I've got a full Bazzite install guide on the channel already. It is linked below, and I'm actually going to do an updated version soon as well. If anything in this video about SteamOS made you hesitate, especially things like having to wipe the drives, move them out, or worry about secure boot, I think SteamOS is good in general, but Bazzite might be better if you're that kind of person. Which one's right for you is generally down to your preferences and your hardware, so just have a look into it and see which one you prefer. Thank you so much for watching. Your support makes this whole thing possible. To support me in making this free content, let me know if the guide worked for you in the comments and click subscribe. If you have any friends in the UK who need a new gaming rig, send them to pc36.co.uk with code YT50 for £50 off. They even offer Bazzite as an operating system choice if you're after a Linux installation. To end the video now is the optional section for those who wanted Windows dual booted via a second SSD. If that doesn't apply to you, you can safely finish the guide now. So step 5 is dual booting with Windows. If you went down the 2-drive route, this is how it's all going to hang together. I warned you earlier that this is a really annoying thing to do, but here is how it's done. With the PC off, you can now reinsert your Windows drive, and from now on, you choose which one boots up from your motherboard's boot menu. To access the boot menu, you start the PC up and repeatedly tap the boot menu key as it starts up. The boot menu key is different depending on your device. I'll put the common ones on screen now, but you may need to research your specific key for your device or motherboard. You should get a menu that comes up that looks similar to this. From here, you can choose which OS you want to boot into. Yes, you will have to do this every single time, but what you can do is go into your boot menu in your BIOS and put the OS that you're going to use more often at the top of the list. So for example, if you're mostly going to use SteamOS and just have Windows on the side from time to time, I would put the SteamOS option at the top of the boot menu, then Windows underneath. Then the workflow is turn the PC on and it will just go to SteamOS, but if you want Windows, you're going to have to use that boot menu key. Now, two things to be very straight about if you're planning to bounce between the two operating systems. Anti-cheat. Many popular online multiplayer games don't run on Linux systems, SteamOS included at the time of recording. Rather than me reel off a list of what's going to be out of date potentially by next month, go and check for yourself. There's a community maintained list called areweanticheatyet.com that tells you exactly what works and what doesn't in terms of anti-cheat on Linux. Look your games up there before you decide how much you even need that Windows side. Now, secure boot is going to be the annoying bit. Remember that we turned secure boot off so that SteamOS would boot, but the catch is, a few games, those kernel level anti-cheat games like COD and Battlefield, they demand that secure boot is on even when in Windows, and those games aren't going to launch without secure boot on. So if you play those games, you're going to be flipping secure boot back on and off in your BIOS each time you want to go between Windows and SteamOS to play those games. So it can get really, really annoying over time, though technically it will work. Just be careful if you have BitLocker device encryption, because every time you change the secure boot settings, it will probably ask you for a recovery key. It's really worth checking your Windows installation to see if BitLocker is enabled, and if so, to ensure that you have access to the recovery key. There is a proper definitive fix. You can manually make and sign your own keys so that secure boot can stay on for both SteamOS and Windows. But that's a whole tutorial in its own right and well beyond the scope of this video. If enough of you want it, say so in the comments and I'll make it as a separate dedicated video. Oh, so that's it. Video done. I'm pretty hungry.